OCA. Ocala.
All right, 25 minutes before 10 o'clock. Beautiful Monday morning. Hope you're doing well. I had a friend years ago, and I guess the best way to describe how he was, he was a playboy. And you know, everybody, all the guys wanted to be like him. He was a good-looking guy, and you could tell when he walked into a room that the women all looked his way, and he knew it too. And at one point in our lives, he got married. He was married, and I was at the wedding, and he would call me up every now and then, and he would tell me about an affair he was having. And of course, I thought, well, gosh, I guess you didn't really love your wife, and eventually that all fell apart. And he met another woman, and he married her, and those calls stopped. And I thought to myself, I guess he had to find somebody he really, really, really loved, because he was fooling around while he was married. Not that I'm endorsing it, and I'm sure he would, I don't know what he would say. I'm guessing he's not really proud of it, but it was just part of his life. And it's not me, by the way. I'm not talking about myself, just in case you're wondering. But the thing was, it was kind of weird to see what made for a bad marriage, and then what made for a good marriage with the two different relationships that my friend had. Ramona Zabriskie is on the phone. She has a book called Wife for Life: The Power to Succeed in Marriage, a Woman's Inspirational Guide to a Grand Lifelong Marriage. I wonder what her advice would have been to the first wife that I was just describing. Ramona is a well-known speaker. She's an award-winning author, and she is changing the lives of women all over the world. Good morning, Ramona.
Good morning, Larry.
Where are you? Where are you calling from?
I live in Vancouver, Washington, just over the river and through the woods from Portland.
Oh, my goodness. Well, thank you for getting up so early.
Oh, I'm happy to be here. I actually raised my family, though, in Central Florida.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we raised them in Lake Mary.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you're familiar with this area?
I am.
And you are also a successfully married lady?
I am, 38 years.
And is it the only marriage you've ever had?
Yeah, the only lifelong marriage I've had.
Okay, and my notes say that things weren't going so good two years into it. Can we share that story with the listeners?
Absolutely. That's how the whole book came about, actually. I was visiting with a friend who had a number of friends herself who were in second marriages, and these ladies were much younger than I. I mean, we're in their 20s and 30s. And it really unsettled me. And when I asked her why she thought that this had happened to so many of her friends, her answer was red flags. They didn't see them. They were too young, that kind of thing. And then I realized I had never told this friend my story, which is that we had filed for divorce less than 2 years after our wedding day. And we were only 4 days away from divorce court when I reversed my position, basically, and we got back together and started over. So, yeah, I have been there and done that, and I have a passion for helping other young marriages survive that kind of crisis of faith, but not only those marriages that are on that brink, they're in that troubled spot, but taking good marriages to what I say is great, and from great to grand, the grand marriage being the legacy kind of love that is remembered and influential for generations. So that's our goal at Wife for Life, the grand marriage.
The first lady I described of the first wife of the friend I described in the intro, I'm guessing because of his behavior, and just my own, I'm not a psychologist, but I'm guessing he was more in love with the second lady than the first lady, and maybe too young for the first one. I don't know how to analyze it, but I don't know that
there's always a maturity factor for sure.
Yeah, but it just didn't seem like that one could be saved. I don't know.
Well, without knowing all the details, who's to say?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Of course, marriage is a two-way street. But you'll notice my book is Wife for Life, and it's written to women specifically. And that's really what sets it apart from all the other marriage advice out there, is that my contention is that women today especially have far more power in the relationship than they realize. And that's what we do around here. We wake up women to the immense amount of power they have to influence their relationship. And though I'm sure his very, questionable behavior in that first marriage had everything to do with it.
Right.
I have to wonder if the second wife comprehended that power a little bit better and utilized the power in her womanhood to be more of an intimate and an inspiration to him. I would only hope.
Well, I
so.
want to know more about the power of the womanhood. What do you think should be done? Robin is here, by the way. So, Robin.
Hey, Robin.
Hi.
Hi.
So, did you learn this because of in your own life? Is that how you know this stuff?
Well, yes. Actually, that is my credential, that I'm a successful wife. Of course, I've done lots of research after that conversation with my friend. I had been writing about marriage and family as an inspiration to younger women, basically on blogs and that kind of stuff. So I was a student of marriage already for years. But when she brought up that idea of those second marriages in their 20s and 30s, and it seemed like an epidemic to me,
right.
I just felt a lightning bolt, like, what is going on here? And I am going to find out. So I went into the research mode for a couple of years and came out of it realizing all the things I had done right and all the things I had done wrong, which, by the way, I teach a lot about all the things I've done wrong, and using my own personal journals. I'm a real journal keeper, so I was able to look back over 35 plus years and pick out that stuff. In fact, one commenter on my book said, I had no idea so much failure went into a successful marriage. So it is my triumphs as well as my failures that I call upon, plus those of many, many other successful wives who have really shown me the way towards a grand marriage, and they're historic marriages as well as contemporary marriages. So yeah, there's a lot of me in the book and a lot of other successful wives. In fact, a man asked me at a business dinner one night, who helped you most in the writing of your book, the experts or the successful wives? And I said, well, the successful wives are the experts.
Right, that makes sense.
We always hear that marriage is a partnership and you need to support each other, but sometimes I think that's not true, because one partner can support the other partner for whatever it is that they're doing, and then once they receive their level of success and their happiness and they're satisfied with the way things are, if the other partner is still pursuing their interests and things, the first partner might say, well, I'm not sticking around because I'm not supporting you.
Interesting. What you just described, Robin, is what I call dream weaving. And I believe, and it's been proven by hundreds of real marriages, that a woman has to have dreams to thrive, the sense that she is creating beautiful, meaningful, reciprocal relationships, number one, as well as other outlets that spark her passion for creativity. She has to have dreams. But a man has to have a quest, which is of a completely different nature than a woman's dream. And when the two are able to merge so that his quest becomes one of her most important dreams and her dreams become part of his quest, then we're on our way to that grand marriage we're talking about. So ideally, the two people actually weave their dreams. So sometimes one of those dreams is the priority, and at another period of time, the other is, and it goes back and forth through the decades until beautifully, perfectly, it works out, and we have lots of examples of this in the marriages that we stand on the shoulders of basically many a grand marriage. John and Abigail Adams being a classic example, for instance, until ultimately they become one. Their dreams become one, and that's when they become so powerful and influential as a couple.
I want to learn more about that. That makes sense, actually, the way you just described it. The book is called Wife for Life. Ramona Zabriskie is the author, and we'll be right back with Ramona after the break. You're listening to WOCA Ocala.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Overall for Monday, looking partly sunny. Should be a nice day with a high of 82 to 85 degrees. Then on Monday night, clear skies, a low of 57 to 64. For Tuesday, mostly sunny, a high of 84 to 87 degrees. And Wednesday looks nice with plenty of sunshine for the middle of the week with a high of 84 to 87. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Evan Duffy.
Central Florida Eye Institute is the area's leader in laser vision correction. From high-definition refraction surgery and LASIK vision correction to custom cataract, glaucoma, and diabetic treatment, you can count on Dr. Crowley and his effective, friendly staff to provide you with the quality care you deserve. Call 352-237-8400 for an appointment or more information. That number again is 352-237-8400. Looking forward to service your vision needs.
Ocala, you asked for it, and now Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens gives it to you. A BOGO deal on trees. Take your pick, any quality tree in stock, any size. Buy one at Bob's super low price and get the second one for half price. That's all sizes, starting as low as $49.99 on extra large trees 6 to 8 feet tall. By all means, don't miss the out-of-this-world deals on azaleas. A truckload just arrived, and Bob's selling these semi-dwarf beauties #1 size at the unheard-of low price of just $1.99 each. Extra large garden mums just $9.99 if you buy 2 or more. Camellias, gardenias, roses, and yes, those beautiful yellow blooming cassia bushes, all at super low prices this week at Bob Wine's. And those ever-bearing strawberries just $2.99. So hurry to Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens, Ocala, Southeast 38th Street. Daily till 4, Saturdays till 2. Bob Wine's, homegrown, locally owned since 1952.
Cookies, 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 cookies.
When you want something special and fun for any occasion, get cookies. That's right. The Great American Cookie Company in the Paddock Mall, Ocala will make a delicious, fun-filled delight just for you. You might notice that I said fun and delicious more than once. That's because I can't say it enough. The next time you're at the mall, be sure and stop by or call 352-237-2557 to place your order.
Cookies, cookies,
Yum.
cookies, cookies. We go cookie eating cookies.
The Great American Cookie Company.
All right, 12 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. All right, this is an interesting topic, isn't it? Do you know who I was thinking about during the break? I was thinking about, let's see, Paul Newman and his wife. What was his wife's name?
Joanne Woodward.
Joanne Woodward. Ramona, one of the things I remember Joanne Woodward saying was that she kind of took a back seat in her acting career so she could support Paul Newman. And in a way, I feel like, gosh, that's that's a shame. And she could have been maybe she could have done more with her acting, but she kind of took a backseat. And I'm guessing a lot of women do that. They'll take a backseat to what the husband wants. Well, I mean, whether it's in show business or not. If you have,
well, I think it's interesting that you use the word backseat or that description.
Yeah. Because
in my world, that backseat is the seat right next to it. It's not behind him. They are working absolutely in concert to achieve. And to achieve, there are some things in this world that are so big, it takes 2 people to achieve them. And Paul and Joanne, what a great example of achievement in that. Look at the humanitarian work, and it's incredible the kind of stuff that they have accomplished together. And it could only have happened as a pair together. I can guarantee Paul would not have attained what he has without Joanne.
Oh, now, I think you're absolutely right, yeah.
With that being said, you said it's a shame that she sacrificed.
Yeah.
That's not absolutely necessary. I would guess that she would tell you that her best most fondest dreams and wishes have totally come true, regardless of whether we think they have or not. Her dream was to be cherished and be by her man and to be part of his quest. But there are plenty of other examples. One of my very favorite is Pierre and Marie Curie, for instance, who were they founded radiation, basically, and affect all of us every day. When those of us who have family or in cancer treatment and so forth, it would not have happened without them. Now, this was her dream. She was pursuing it when he met her, and they combined forces over the next, I think they were only married actually 12 years or 11 years before he passed away. But in that amount of time, they were pursuing her dream. Or look at Paul and Julia Child. Fascinating example. She supported him through his career as a diplomat overseas. And then, upon retirement, he had his ideas of what he wanted to do. But her career as an author of the famous, recipe book of French cooking, it took off, and he became her support. So that today, when you say Julia Child, you're not talking about the woman, you're talking about Paul and Julia Child as a brand.
So it sounds like the one of the keys to a happy marriage is to simply support each other.
Yeah.
So is it easier said than done? I mean, why are there so many divorces then?
Absolutely. When people are first married, they're flying high, basically, but it doesn't take long before the gravity of self-interest, if you will, starts hurtling them downwards. And that's really sad, because what they dreamed about and what they should be doing is having this exhilarating experience of flying in tandem. But in order to fly in the clouds, you've got to be grounded in why. You have to know why you even want to be married. And honestly, this is what I found missing in all my research. It was very few experts, were articulating a reason for marriage that would inspire your marriage. You have to know. You got to understand too, which is there's another whole fascinating topic, that his why is very different from her why because of their natures as a man and a woman. So comprehending those and makes all the difference in the world. Plus, there's a whole long list of skills and know-how that goes into really succeeding at marriage, and it just doesn't come naturally. Like anything that you want to do amazingly well, you got to work at it. You got to study. You got to learn your stuff.
The relationship that two people in business have with each other is almost everything that a marriage has, with the exception of raising children and having sex. So those two pieces of the marriage relationship must play an important role. I mean, business partners split up all the time, and yet marriage partners. Well, how do I say this? When business partners split up, it's not that devastating. It's just, okay, he went his way and he went his way. But when a marriage splits up, it's bigger. There's something bigger about it.
Oh, absolutely. So that's interesting that you are comparing a marriage to a business relationship, because I also do a lot of speaking and working in the professional setting in helping women develop really powerful partnerships with men in the business setting, which requires a lot of the same know-how that we're talking about for a marriage to succeed. However, you're right. There is one very distinct difference, and it's called romance. All right? So when we're talking about a male-female partnership in the business world, or we're talking about a male-female partnership of romance, there is something so deep in that romantic relationship that is, like you say, it can't be severed without long-term, even lifetime repercussions. And it's because the heart is involved, obviously, and a lot of vulnerability and risk.
So is there advice in that area regarding the romantic part of that relationship. Is there advice? Your book is for women, but I'm guessing there should be advice from men as well regarding the romance.
It's funny. I get. I was surprised to get so many reviews on Amazon. And by the way, they're all 5-star reviews.
Oh, that's
men.
good.
Okay, so men love the book. But they're looking for those kind of clues, and I've been asked over and over, are you going to write a book for men? Are you going to write a husband for wife? And I don't know, I might get around to it. But listen, I'll tell your male readers something right now that can help them today. A woman needs, it's easy to remember, RSTUVW. Okay?
Uh-huh.
She absolutely, in order to thrive and be happy, she needs romance, security, RSP, right, trueness, understanding, validation, and we-ness, which would be togetherness.
Mm-hmm.
RSPUVW. And of course, there's a million ways to express that to your wife, and I'd love to talk to anybody about it, but you keep the RSPUVW, romance, security, trueness, understanding, validation, and we-ness in the forefront of your relationship. If you're the husband, you are going to have a very happy wife who'll be devoted to you, absolutely devoted.
Well, what about the sex part, like Larry was bringing up? What about if one of the partners, like say the woman just didn't, all of a sudden something happens and she's not interested in sex anymore? Can you still have a happy marriage?
RSTUVW, sex YZ, I might add there at the end. So bringing it, that brings in a whole nother dynamic, of course. But it is the foundational dynamic. And frankly, I think you could have some kind of partnership with a husband and wife that are not involved physically. That sounds very curious to me. I suppose it's possible, but it's going to miss that deep, resonating dynamic that we're talking about, that that romance, that grand aspect, because there is no question but that physical intimacy and the health of that physical intimacy is a direct reflection of the emotional intimacy and health of that relationship. And it's worth focusing on. Sure.
The time is almost up, but I want to make sure the listeners know how to get the book. I went to Amazon and I see all those 5-star reviews you have. Wow, that's very impressive. The first one, by the way, says, my husband saw Wife for Life on his Kindle and asked me if I had ordered it because he had not. Apparently, it went to all of our Kindles, not just mine. Out of curiosity, he started reading it. Now he's ahead of me in the book and is loving it. So I see what you're saying. Ramona, let's see. I found it on Kindle. On Amazon. Do we have another website for you?
Yes, absolutely. And it does come as an ebook, paperback, and an audiobook read by me. And what was your question? I lost the question.
I'm just looking for another website besides Amazon.
Oh, yes, please. Yes, my website is my name. It's easy, RamonaZabriskie.com, and that's spelled Zabriskie. But if you can't remember that, just go to wifeforlifebook.com, and you'll get to me that way. And by the way, just for your listeners today, I asked my webmaster to put up on the home page, they can get a free video course that usually costs $49, and it's free for your listeners today. And it's called How to Help Your Husband Help You.
All right, and that's at your name, RamonaZabriskie.com?
Right.
Okay.
And that'll be up for a couple days for free.
Ramona, thank you so much for being on the air. You're welcome back anytime.
Thank you so much, Larry. I feel like I'm home. They're in Central Florida. Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back. This is WOCA.
Central Florida Eye Institute is the area's leader in laser vision correction. From high-definition refraction surgery and LASIK vision correction to custom cataract, glaucoma, and diabetic treatment, you can count on Dr. Crowley and his effective, friendly staff to provide you with the quality care you deserve. Call 352-237-8400 for an appointment or more information. That number again is 352-237-8400. Looking forward to service your vision needs.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. He had been in the Memphis police force for only a year. Off-duty officer Terrence Ulrich shot and killed outside his home in suburban Cordova yesterday. His uncle saying,
Sad, they very sad situation. Crying, everybody's crying. Shot him while he's on his way to work.
A suspect is in custody. Ulrich, the fourth Memphis officer to be shot to death in about 4 years. For just the third time in 40 years, those who get Social Security checks won't be getting a raise next year.
Economists point to low gas prices, a key factor in the Consumer Price Index that measures inflation. And inflation has been so low this year that prices have actually dropped from a year ago. Congress tied Social Security increases to inflation in 1975.
Fox Radio's Jared Halpern. Southwest Airlines says it expects its systems to perform normally now after tech glitches led to 500 flight delays yesterday. Southwest today still trying to rebook affected travelers. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Meet Vince. Vince hurt himself mountain biking on Saturday.
Because weekend warrior.
Because noob.
Hey!
Vince is supposed to host an important presentation, but he's not going anywhere in that cast. What should he do?
Rhetorical question.
Vince should try GoToMeeting, the simple way to host meetings online, complete with video conferencing and screen sharing. Send out a meeting link and anyone can join from any computer, tablet, or smartphone. Just takes a click.
Where do I sign up?
Visit GoToMeeting.com to start your free 30-day trial. That's GoToMeeting.com.
Meet Lawrence. He's making serious money on his own schedule driving with Uber.
With Uber, you can write your own paycheck. If you want to go out and make $20 a day, you can. If you want to go out and make $500 a day, it's up to you. You sign up, and you start earning money right away. Right away, like the next day. Turn it on when you want to make money, you turn it off when you don't. It's just that simple. What are you waiting for?
Thanks, Lawrence. To start making great money with your car, sign up to drive today at drivewithuber.com. That's drivewithuber.com.
Today in Florida Ag News from the Southeast AgNet, the U.S. Department of Agriculture's National Agriculture Statistics Service released its October crop reports on Friday, and a slight revision was made to the cotton production forecast compared to last month. Angie Considine with NASS in Washington, D.C. has the details.
All cotton production is forecast at 13.3 million 480 pound bales, down less than 1% from last month and down 18% from last year. Yield is expected to average 784 pounds per harvested acre, down 54 pounds from last year. Florida production is expected to total 140,000 bales, up 8% from last month, but down 27% from 2014. This is Angie Considine with the USDA National Agriculture Statistics Service.
Thanks, Angie. And to hear more of her report, go to our website, southeastagnet.com.
Hi, I'm Adam Putnam, Florida's Commissioner of Agriculture. Floridians are all too often targets for scams and fraud of all types, including Medicare, charity, and travel scams. That's why the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services has made it a priority to protect Florida consumers from scams, fraud, and deception. To learn more about scams and fraud that target Floridians and find the resources available to help you avoid them, visit www.freshfromflorida.com or call 1-800-HELP-FLA today.
Whether at your local green market, corner grocery store, or neighborhood restaurant, you're supporting your community when you buy local.
Food grown right here by Florida farmers doesn't need to be shipped as far.
That saves fuel and cuts emissions.
Buying local is more than just supporting area businesses and growers.
It's buying fresh, wholesome, and delicious food for your family.
Products you trust from people you trust.
Fresh from Florida.
Good for the environment.
Good for the economy.
Good for you.
Randall Wiseman, Southeast AgNet.
Need a mailbox rental but need more information? Remember, Personal Service Center, 789-6683. How does $10 a month sound with just a 3-month commitment? Remember, Personal Service Center, 789-6683. Mention WOCA and the setup fee is waived. Personal Service Center will email or text notifications to you when your packages arrive. Even scan mail so you never actually have to pick it up. Now that's service.